Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a video where by the YouTube channel Political Joe, where they ask the richest place in the UK whether they should be paying more tax, whether the rich should pay more tax, basically. And let's see what their answers are. Most likely, the rich remain rich, the poor get decimated, and the rich and the ruling class, you know, want to displace all poor people. They don't want freeloaders, right? So, and we live in a time where AI is upon us, where AI will displace most of humanity. And most of humanity will be made redundant. Most of humanity will not be able to work, earn a living, and then you have to ask yourself. The question is, what will um, what will happen to those humans? What will happen to people who don't have a job, who don't contribute to society? What will happen to those people? What will the elites allow them to do? So, and what I reckon will happen is those people will get a universal basic income will get ushered in, um, and those people will be left, because they're on universal basic income. They won't be allowed to leave the house. They'll be fed by the government, and they'll be fed bugs or some sort of genetically modified lab made meat. They'll be not allowed to travel. They'll not be allowed to socialize outside because they can't afford to. They'll just be left in their houses, plugged into the metaverse, and they'll be left to rot in their homes until they fizzle out of society, until they won't reproduce. They won't have any offspring. They'll just be left to fizzle out of existence. They'll and then once they die off and they have no one to pass off their inheritance to, they'll just be the government will come and collect their resources, and that's what these elites want. And if you recognize what's happening, if you recognize where the future is headed, then you have to make a decision. You have to understand that the only thing that is left, because AI will displace you in your job. Even if you have a job now, like you won't for long because AI will take it away from you. Um, yeah, so the only thing that is left for you to do is for you to become famous, for you to become a celebrity, for you to be seen online as somebody who's smart, somebody who's important, somebody who is a leader, and lead your followers to a better place, lead your followers to a better and brighter future, because these elites don't have your best interests. They don't want you to win, basically. They want you plugged in into the metaverse, into your voluntary prison cell, waiting for you to die and fade away out of existence. If you want to live a life of luxury, if you want to have any type of dating life, then you need to build a kingdom. You need to become somebody who is seen as a king, somebody who is a royal, somebody who is important. And that's what I help my clients with. I help them develop charisma and charm so that they can captivate an audience, so they can speak to a wider audience. So when they speak, people listen to them. People will see them as a king. People see that they are somebody who has something important to say. So and I help them establish a kingdom. I help them establish followers. I help them establish a path to the top, for them to become kings in their own right. But let's see what this guy has to say. Let's get into this video.
Wealth, more often than not, is a result of people's savings. It just seems wrong to take that away from them.
I would say I've got a very good standard of living, but I'm still very happy to help those less fortunate.
Like the tax on, there's going to be a tax on £80,000 and more, which is, for London, with how high rent is at the moment, I think it's like that's like, I mean, not livable, but like it's not a lot of money.
I mean, he hit a great point there. Is if you earn more than £80,000 in the UK, you're already getting taxed because you're in a higher earning bracket, and then you also to have that job, you have to be living in a big city like London. And then rent prices are going up, food prices, cost of living is going up, and even you might say, oh, that person's earning a lot of money. Well, he pays more tax, and he pays higher inflation costs. So either way, like even if you try to become rich via working, you get fucked and screwed over. Um, so where's the incentive left for you to work hard, for you to try to save your way to prosperity? Um, because either way, you're going to be left out of pocket. Okay, and then now with AI here, more and more people will be made redundant. The cost of labor. Why would you pay 5 humans to do to be coders for £100,000 a year? That's 500,000, all right, for five, where you can get an AI bot to do it 24 hours a day for you purchase that program once for 50,000, and it's done, and it can work 100 times more efficiently than a human. So this is the state of play at the moment. This is where we're at. Companies are going to go with the most cost efficient alternative. Companies are going to look at their bottom lines, and and if they're not doing it, their competitors will, right? So it's the natural conclusion of the free market. Most of humanity will be made redundant. They're already speaking about universal basic income. You'll be left to rot inside your room, inside your little pod that you are, in essence, a voluntary jail cell, a voluntary prison cell. It's voluntary enslavement. And you'll be plugged into the metaverse to live out your life until you fizzle out of existence. It's truly evil, but it will be sold to you like a nice, comfortable alternative to a 9 to 5. And they'll say you can't have a mansion in real life, but you can have a mansion on in the metaverse. Okay, and the people are like, oh, okay, like yeah, I'll do that. And then they quickly realize that they've been lied to, that their humanity got taken away, and that the elites played them. They played them at their own game. They squeezed out all the wealth out of them, and ultimately they'll win. So the only thing for you left to do is for you to become an elite yourself, for you to rise to the top, displace the current ruling class, and guide humanity to a better and brighter tomorrow.
Despite Labour's general reticence to promise anything in particular for their plans in government, there is one thing they are clear on. There will be no new tax on wealth. This is despite research suggesting that a wealth tax on just the richest 0.3% of the population could generate £10 billion for the public purse.
The reason that they don't tax the rich, because if you tax the rich, there's no incentive for them to stay in that country. Do you understand? They'll just leave. They'll go to Dubai, where they can live tax-free. They'll go to Monaco, where they can live tax-free. And this is what's going to slowly happen. The uber wealthy are going to congregate in tax-free havens with all the control over all the resources, while the poor people will be left to struggle. So therefore, if you're one of these people who are campaigning to tax the rich, to take money from the rich and give to the poor, like you're some sort of Robin Hood, you're facing a losing battle, because these people just leave. Okay, they'll leave to the Bahamas. They'll leave to these islands, right, where they can live out their lives among the super wealthy, amongst the uber rich, and they don't want to pay extra tax. So the future they envision is like, well, all right, we'll give them some crumbs here now. We'll pay their universal basic income, but over the long haul, they'll just get rid of you. They won't let you reproduce. They won't let you have children. There'll be some sort of forced sterilization. They might, release some sort of vaccination program where one of the side effects is sterilization, and you won't know until 5 years down the line after you took that jab. Okay, just a possibility. Just a possibility. Yeah, I mean that's where we're at. That's the current state of play. Um, you know, there's no beating them. Okay, they've got society by the balls, And if you're like me, if you're somebody who recognizes this, then you realize that the only thing left for you to do is to rise to the top, for you to become a part of the ruling class, for you to become an elite yourself. And the way we do it here is we use social media to our advantage. We build a following. We become celebrities in our own names. We build fame and fortune. We rise to the top. We are seen as kings. We build kingdoms for our followers, for our citizens to live in. We protect them. We become the de facto ruling elite. And if you think like, oh, this sounds like a lot, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. That's what I help my clients with. I help them, um, you know, unlock their charisma so they can captivate an audience, so they can speak to a mass audience. I help them develop leadership skills. I help them develop kingly status. I help them make content so that they can be part of the ruling class, so they can live a life of luxury. And the reason I'm doing it is I'm looking for 100 people to do this and climb to the top, because I'm looking for, once I get to the top, I don't want to be there by myself. Well, I could easily use this knowledge, keep it for myself, but then I'll be the only one there at the top. I'd rather be there surrounded by friends, other kings who think like me, who are on the same page, who will have my back, and I'll have their back. We'll form strong alliances. We'll form a strong network, and the right people would understand what I'm saying. They would want to be part of that, and I'm willing to help you. If you believe that it is your destiny to do something great in life, if you believe it's your destiny to be part of the ruling elite class, if you always thought that you were supposed to do something special in life but you just didn't know how, this is your call to adventure. This is the moment in the film where you decide that I'm going to do something special, I'm going to do something great, I'm going to go on this hero's journey and slay the metaphorical dragon. If you understand what I'm saying, if you want to be part of such an adventure, then reach out to me and we can work together and help build your kingdom.
While a wealth tax would affect very few Brits, the people it would are likely to be living here in Kensington, the richest parliamentary constituency in the country. Kensington is a pretty complicated place. Some people here are loaded. There's the most expensive street in the country, Phillimore Gardens, where the average house costs £23.8 million. But among the 6th-floor townhouses and supercars, there is serious deprivation. Research shows that from 2019 to 2020, 1 in 4 children in Kensington and Chelsea were living in poverty. And Grenfell Tower serves as a brutal reminder of the areas in.
And, 1 in 4 children are living below the poverty line in the richest area of the UK. It sounds pretty disgusting when you have so much wealth, so much, you could be living in a townhouse worth £20 million. And then right next door is an estate where people are starving, living in shoeboxes, and you would think that the rich would have some sort of remorse, that they would, be worried, but they're not. They're living their lives. They're living, and the poor people are just an inconvenience, really, because if you think about it, instead of having their ugly estate, they can knock it down and create a beautiful park there for the rich to enjoy. They could have more shopping centers there for the rich to enjoy. That is where the world's heading to. That is where we are currently at. The rich don't give a fuck. The poor people are just a minor inconvenience. You watching this, very likely you are poor. Very likely you don't have many options in life. And I'm here to tell you that the only thing that is left for you to do is to become an elite yourself, for you to become somebody who is important, somebody who is a leader, become somebody who is willing to do something, stand up for humanity, stand up to people who don't have your best interest. And if you believe that should be you, that you should be living a life of luxury, that you should be the de facto leader in your environment, then we can work together and help build your kingdom.
Equality. This is Extreme Britain. And that's why I'm in Kensington to ask the people I meet, how do you feel about the level of tax that you pay at the moment?
It hurts, but I can afford it.
Being a bit of a communist, I guess. Sorry, I'm not. But, I do believe everyone should pay tax.
How would you feel about a tax on wealth rather than income?
Wealth, more often than not, is a result of
I mean, you can tell that this guy's just loaded, right? Like he's just old money, this guy.
people's savings and their hope to exist on their savings. It just seems wrong to take that away from them.
Well, like for example, like the tax on there's going to be a tax on £80,000 and more, which is for London, with how high rent is at the moment. I think it's like that's like, I mean, not livable, but like it's you know, it's not a lot of money, and to tax that proportion as well is unfair. I think they should start with all the ultra rich first, and then just go down from there.
But the thing is, if that was to happen, the ultra rich will leave, right? And everybody thinks, okay, the government will come along and tax the uber rich. Well, when in 1 or 2 years they'll just leave. Okay, they'll take the hit in the short term, and people normally announce that anyway, a year in advance that these are the new taxes coming in, and they'll just leave. They'll just leave, and then the country will be worse off. And the citizens will still remain poor. Okay, it's not all of a sudden now you have because you have a talent drain. So if you tax the highest income people, they'll just go to a place where they can work for less tax, which is why Dubai is such a hot spot right now for people. The uber wealthy and uber attractive people just go there because that's where all the money is. So you have to be careful what you wish for. I believe these solutions are trivial, that they're not going to change anything. The rich people hire the smartest people to take care of shit like this for them. They'll advise them. They'll become citizens of Dubai, citizens of Monaco, so they have to pay zero income tax, or any tax in general. And the poor will suffer. The only thing that's left for you to do is for you to join the elite, so you can have wealth advisors, so you can have tax advisors to steer you in the correct direction, so you won't get screwed over when the poor will come for your money. And then the rich will allow the poor to fizzle out of existence. They won't be able to reproduce. They won't be able to own anything. They won't be part of the decision making class, and they're going to get fucked over in the long run.
Yeah, it's quite high considering like the amenities don't really represent what I'm paying in tax. Like I wish that with the amount of tax that I'm paying.
Yeah, and here in the UK, a lot of people are already paying a lot of tax, and then they're seeing just crime go up. They're seeing the country go to shit, and then you have to ask yourself, what is the incentive left for them to stay in this country? Okay, if tax is increasing and the citizens get nothing in return for the increased tax, and the only ever solution is to tax the rich more, which they already are paying more than everyone else.
I'm not really seeing it being put into what I would expect to get back from it.
Is that in terms of like public services and stuff?
Yeah, public services. Like, yeah, there's good transport systems in London, but like that's about as far as it goes. I think the public services are actually quite expensive for the amount of tax that we are paying. Like I think like to try and go to Manchester could cost like £60, which I think is insane. Back home in Ireland, that's like €5 to get from like 3-hour train journey. Yeah.
Would you describe yourself as wealthy?
Pardon?
Would you describe yourself as wealthy?
Oh, no. No.
I have 2 homes. Yeah, I would say I've got a very good standard of living. But I'm still very happy to help those less fortunate. Yeah. You know, you see people on the street. It's dreadful to see.
That's why she's got glasses on, so she can block out the poor people.
And what do they do? What did the government do? They encourage migrants to come in, give them free accommodation.
And this is another thing that's going to happen. Is so, you know, you tax the rich will leave, which will and the governments will call over more migrants who are unchecked when they enter the country, who could potentially be criminals, be a danger to society, and they're giving free housing, free jobs, not jobs, sorry, free housing and free benefits to start a life here in this country, in the hopes of that their children will get be part educated in the educational system, and then there will be future taxpayers, right? However, that's not guaranteed. That is definitely not guaranteed. And the natives to the country, the white people of the country, the English people, or whatever country you're talking about, really, is they'll this is how racism starts. Okay, you take away from the natives to give to who are already struggling, to give to poor migrants who, you know, who are also struggling coming from their country, but there's no guarantee that this will work out. I mean, I'm a product of immigration, of migration. My parents came to this country. I was born in Germany, and grew up here in England. So I was born in England, grew up in Germany, and then came back to England. I immigration and being a migrant really helped my parents and my life. Okay, but it's not the same people who are coming here. Before, migrants used to who came to this country, they wanted to work, they wanted to do something positive, and now it's just a free-for-all. Now, there's no background checks on these people who are coming, and a lot of them could potentially be criminals. There might be countries emptying their prisons and jails and sending them here into this country to cause some sort of destability, to destabilize the country, and you're going to see much more racial tensions rising, and then people like me who are native to the country will be seen as an immigrant, as a foreigner, and it fucks up the the second generation of children of immigrants, because we'll just be seen as foreigners and not part of this makeup, and then we're the ones who don't belong anywhere, right? So we get fucked over in every sense.
Why don't they look after their own people, the old age pensioners, who can hardly afford to live?
Good. Is there a world in which the government can do both those things?
Can they what, sorry?
Is there a world in which the government can do both those things, look after British people and people fleeing war?
You know what I say about the government? They look after number one.
What is wealthy in your eyes?
I suppose somebody who is worth at least 500, 600,000 pounds.
Tax on wealth. I think insane wealth is ridiculous. Like someone who has like over £1 billion, like that's just like, that's why would you need that amount of money? I think if you've worked.
The reason people need that much money is for self-protection, for self-preservation, for them to remain rich, so they can keep a distance between themselves and poor people. Because you have to realize is these ruling people, some of them are psychopaths, where they're amassing so much wealth because they're constantly paranoid that not having enough money will cause their demise. And they're usually the people who go the extra mile to rise to the top. But a lot of time it's that they have wealthy parents. They have an easier, they have a leg up in life. If you want your children to have a wealthy lifestyle, if you want your children to have the best opportunities, how are you going to do it? Okay, are you going to work hard at your job, save and get taxed along the way, and then say you work your way up, and then you make more money? Now you're in that tax bracket where you get taxed more, and now you have to contribute more. What will your option be? Are you going to now earn less money? No, you'll take your skills and you move to a country where you can work tax free. Okay, and then you have more income. You will be able to afford more luxury in your life, and that is what will happen. The uber wealthy will leave. The only thing left for you to do is to join the uber wealthy, but become part of the leadership group, become the leader of the next generation for humanity, and lead them to a more prosperous life where you can make decisions that will benefit your citizens in a positive way. Okay, you don't want people to struggle. You don't want people to to remain poor, remain below the poverty line. Give everyone a fair chance. And can you trust your leaders to deliver on those promises? In most cases, you can't trust anyone these days. So the only person you can trust is yourself. I'm looking for 100 people who are on the same page as me, who want to develop a network and grow their kingdom, to reach the top of the proverbial summit, to usher in a new dawn, a new um better, more prosperous times for humanity, because most of humanity will be made redundant and be left to rot in self-imposed prisons. Okay, they'll be plugged into the metaverse to do nothing with their lives, to live an inhumane life, but be told to be happy with what they have, and it's something that they never even asked for.
Hard, then I think there should be like inheritance tax could be, if you have like ridiculously sized houses, but I think it's all proportionate in a sense. Yeah. So I don't know. I think insane wealth should be taxed more, but there's always that old analogy of the guy buying 10 pints for everyone else. So they're just going to go to another country, perhaps. There's so much offshore tax nowadays that you never know where it's going to go anyway.
As somebody that's not well off, I think the wealthy should pay their fair share, but it's getting the balance right. If you ask for too much, they'll just take they just go elsewhere. They've got the money to go and live in wherever, and when they move, they'll take those.
This guy gets it.
Their money with them and their taxes with them, and we'll end up worse off. So it's getting that balance right, I think.
If we tax like the top 1%, it would like trickle down to everyone else in a more suitable way. I don't think like the bottom percentage of people should be taxed.
Income, you choose to work. You work hard, you pay tax. And tax on income in this country, I think, is reasonably fair.
I think the argument against that is people on lower earnings pay proportionally more tax.
That's one thing that should definitely be changed. Is if you are a low income person, you should pay no tax. And low income, it should be up to 30,000-40,000, because the cost of living is just getting ridiculous. People are struggling to pay rent, people are struggling to pay their bills, and then on top of that, then you have to have some sort of life. However, the uber wealthy don't have to worry. They don't think about struggling like this, and therefore, if you are somebody thinking, well, what the fuck can I do to change my prospects in life? I'm telling you, the only thing that's left for you is to build a kingdom and be seen as a king, for you to become a monarch, for you to become part of the ruling class, to live that life of luxury, And the way we do it here is by making content, by building fame, by becoming a celebrity, by rising to the top, by being seen as a leader in your niche, in your field, in whatever your talent is, to be recognized for your talents, to build fame and fortune off the back of who you are, your personality. And I help my clients bring out their charisma so they can display their personality, so they can communicate effectively, to form a kingdom, to be seen as a king, for them to become a true ruler, so they can live luxurious lives. And once you are seen as a king, once you have a kingdom, all the money will come to you. People would want to work with you. People would send business deals your way, just to be part of your network, just be in your presence. People will want to date you. They would want to be your friend. All the hottest women in the world would line up and queue to be part of a king's life. Okay, if you ever had the experience of going on Tinder and messaging a girl and then wishing that she replies, and she takes 3 days, and then she says, "Oh, sorry, I've been busy." Once you are a king, once you're seen as someone who's famous, once you're seen as a royal, once you have a following, as soon as you message someone, she'll recognize who you are, and then she'll be like, "Oh, please take me on a date." Right? She'll be asking you out. Okay, she'll do anything in her power to bag you, to be part of your life, and then you flip the script. You are able to have your pick of women, have your pick of opportunities. You'll be, you have so many opportunities come your way. You'll be overwhelmed in a positive way with the amount of decisions you have to make, the amount of opportunities you have your way. But to be part of that club who has infinite options, you have to become a king. You have to build a kingdom. And I'm looking for 100 people who want to go on this journey with me to build a kingdom, to become an elite, to be seen as somebody who's famous, somebody who is a leader. And if that is you, if you want to do something great with your life, if you've waited and believed it was your destiny that you should do something great in your life, then go to royalinstinct.com, join the coaching, join the mentorship, and we'll help you build a kingdom so you can be realized as the true king that you are. But that is it for today. Take